This is the story of Margaret Ellis, a woman whose life was defined by quiet strength and dedication, and her daughter, Lena, whose choices led to a tragedy that shook their small community. This narrative is a fictionalized account inspired by real-life themes of caregiving, neglect, and the consequences of abandonment, crafted to be original and copyright-free. Margaret Ellis was born on May 22, 1950, in a small town in South Carolina. Raised in a close-knit family, she grew up in a modest home where her father repaired bicycles and her mother worked as a seamstress. Margaret was known for her gentle demeanor and meticulous hands, often seen mending clothes or tending to the family garden. As a teenager, she spent hours sketching designs for dresses, dreaming of a future where she could create beauty from simplicity. At 20, Margaret married Thomas Ellis, a kind-hearted mechanic. They settled in a cozy bungalow on Maple Lane, where they built a life together. In 1988, after years of longing, Margaret gave birth to their only child, Lena. Motherhood became her purpose. She poured her heart into raising Lena, teaching her to read by candlelight during summer storms and cheering at every school event. Even after Thomas's sudden death in 2010 from a stroke, Margaret remained a pillar for Lena, keeping their home a haven of stability. In 2020, Margaret's health began to decline. A fall in her garden left her with a fractured hip, and subsequent complications confined her to a wheelchair. The woman who once danced through her kitchen now relied on others for basic tasks. Lena, then 32 and living in Miami as a budding social media influencer, returned home to care for her mother. At first, Lena embraced the role, posting about her journey with hashtags like #FamilyFirst and #CaregiverLife. But the weight of caregiving soon wore her down. The daily grind, medicating, bathing, feeding, clashed with Lena's curated online persona of freedom and self-discovery. Her posts grew less frequent, her captions less hopeful. By mid-2021, resentment simmered. Lena missed her life in Miami, her brand deals, her independence. She began leaving Margaret alone for hours, then days, convincing herself her mother was fine. In November 2021, Lena received an invitation from friends for a weekend in Las Vegas. Exhausted and desperate for escape, she booked a flight without arranging care for Margaret. She left a note, "Back in a few days. Love you." Lena's social media lit up with posts of rooftop parties and spa days, captioned with phrases like, "Recharging my soul," and "Choosing me." Meanwhile, Margaret sat alone in her wheelchair, without food, water, or medication. By day 5, neighbors noticed the unchanged trash bins and unlit porch. Mrs. Clara Thompson, a retired teacher next door, sensed something was wrong. The faint smell of decay prompted her to call 911. Police found Margaret unresponsive, her body frail from dehydration and neglect. The coroner estimated she had been dead for at least 3 days. Lena was arrested upon her return. Evidence from her social media, posts timestamped during Margaret's final days, painted a damning picture. In court, the prosecution highlighted Lena's deliberate absence, showing screenshots of her laughing poolside while her mother wasted away. The defense argued caregiver burnout, but the jury saw abandonment. Lena was convicted of felony neglect and criminally negligent homicide, sentenced to 10 years in prison. Margaret's story is a sobering reminder of the unseen burdens of caregiving. Across the country, millions shoulder this responsibility alone, often without support. When does exhaustion cross into neglect? When does self-care become selfishness? This tragedy asks us to consider our own choices and the silent struggles of those who depend on us. If this story moved you, please like and subscribe for more true crime stories that shine a light on untold struggles. Share your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done differently? Let's keep the conversation going.